Hi guys, and this is an introductory video to curve fitting for first order kinetics using MATLAB. So usually if you open your MATLAB, it's at the home screen and you see the command windows like you can see now here. If you have already some data in it and you want to clear the windows, just type CLC, enter, and it's cleared. Now, the data I'm going to use is from my BMP experiments. So I'm going to use time in days against production. So production in the on the y-axis and the time on the x-axis. So we first have to key in the data into the command windows. I already have the data prepared, so that we don't waste a lot of time. So the first data we'll put here is the time. So we'll start by T for time equals, we open the brackets here, then put the data. I already have the data on my other windows, so making it easy. Now the time is from day 0 to day 29, which makes a total of 30 data points. However, it's 1 to 29. Once you have it here, make sure the bracket is closed, then key in enter. It drops it here to show that the data is accurate. Then we are doing production, biomethane production. So P for production equals, open a bracket here. I'm copying the data from my other screen. Take just a second. There we go. I'll put the data here. That's the production. Now the last is 990.009. Okay, so I close it with brackets. Let's go back to the other end to just see if it's accurately placed there. Yeah, then nicely come, then enter, it drops the data. So we have both the time and the production here up to 30 days, 30 data points, but 29 days from day 0. This also 29 days, but 30 data points from day 0. So we have it nicely. Now we have the X and Y axis already placed here, so we can move on. We're doing curve fitting, so we go into apps, you see curve fitting nicely here. The windows opens for you to do the curve fitting. Once the windows is open, let me maximize it to make it easy to see nicely done here. Now you see that there's no graph showing here because we've not selected the data we want to use. So let's go to select data. It comes here. You can fit name, you can rename it, we'll do it later. The X data is the T, right? Nice. Once we put the data, it has started plotting. Now the Y data is a P. So we have P against T here, showing the data and the curve. Now the line is the fitting. We have to change it to the degree 1. So we come to the side, degree is 1. Let's increase it to 2. Let's see how it fits. Let's increase it to 3. No, let's increase it to 4. 5. It's getting better. Let's see 6. Yeah, this looks quite better because it goes down and up, like the data goes down and up. So I'm also leave it at 5. This also looks good. So it's fitting quite well. We have it here. Now if you look on the right side of your windows, you will see that the polynomial curve fits. The equation is there with all the p values, then all the goodness of fit values, the SSE, the R squared, the DFE, the adjusted R squared, the RMSE here, all here. However, this is not equation we want to know. Just don't forget we are doing curve fitting for first order. So we need to use the equation for the first order kinetic modeling. So we come here to the top of your screen, we click on this drop down, it shows custom equations. So we come here, custom equations. Now it opens a fit options with the equation we can custom. So let's change our equation. we change this equation here, put the equation we want to use here. Now usually this is the equation for first order kinetic. We need to do some adjustments to it for it to fit the data we have. First we remove the equal sign here. This is a max, this is a maximum methane production. We have it here, so we put it in. The maximum methane production was 990. Put it here, accelerate here for it to be times. Now we change the e exponent to exp. We have to write the equation in a way that MATLAB would understand it. So we make modifications to it. Then there's no x, the x is the t. The x values are the t values. Don't forget when we place we put the equations and the data that we use t for the x-axis, so we have to change it for MATLAB to understand that the x is the t values. Once we've done that, we come into the equation, then we put times here. This differentiates, tells MATLAB that the k is separate from the t. If you put it together, kt tells it is the same. MATLAB doesn't understand, but the times sign makes it different, shows that the only thing we are looking for is the k values, because we've identified and defined all the parameters here. Once we do this, the equation is complete and all the errors are gone. Now see here on the right corner, it produces all the k values, produces all the goodness of fit values. So you see the k value is 0 points. This the equation here, the custom equation is here instead of the default one. We see that we have the RMSE number, we have the adjusted R squared, we have the R squared and all that. Now once you have this, you can, if you need to use this plot, you can come copy the equation, right? Go to copy, you can come to come back to let data to identify it. We use the equation to title it. Once you do this and you close it, if you look here, it has shown that this goodness of fit is by this equation nicely. You can save this this plot, you can make adjustments to it, you can rename the x and y values to what you need. This data on the right, the goodness of fit and the k values, you can also copy it from here. If you need to reproduce it and explain it, like discuss it in your paper, you can copy this and use it. If you want to keep this graph, we can come to export, then we come to export figure. It opens a figure windows. Once the figure windows is here, we can go to figure, we can change, we can give it a title, can give it a subtitle, we can change the S labeling. So X labeling and do T is in this nicely here. Can come to the P. Here this is my net biomethane production in the units ML. Nicely done here. You can go through here if you want to change colors, if you want to print it out, if you want to change the layout. Some of it are not active at the moment, however you can go through this and modify as you change the colors, adjust the layout and all those things. So once you're done, you can click on this here, it goes down here, you go save as, can also copy. I want it, so I can just copy it directly and put it in the paper and discuss it. This comes to the end of our little discussion. Hope this helps. Have a good one. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. If I have to make a separate video to explain it, I'll do so. Have a good one.